What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So you guys know I've been following this presidential race, and so anytime a politician comes out and talks about Social Security, I want to let you guys know what they're saying. That way you can make an informed decision when you go to the ballot booth. So we're going to be talking about Chris Christie. He just talked a little bit about Social Security and Medicare and what he wants to do, his plan for these programs. So that's what we're going to focus on in this video. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell notification, and then click all. By clicking all, you'll get notified anytime we post a video. We do daily videos here, so by clicking the bell notification and clicking all, you should be getting updated every day. And just a reminder, if you want to follow me on Threads, you can at the TEC Show Live. And I'm going to do something else. I don't know if you guys know that I have an Instagram. So if you have Instagram, you want to follow my travel journey, then you can follow me there. I'll post a link here so you guys can see. And so if you guys are interested in that, go ahead and follow me on Instagram. Okay, so let me go ahead. I want to bring this article up, and this is coming from The Hill. And so the headline here says, Christie, Social Security Medicare cuts are necessary, political risk in today's economy. Okay, so political risk, we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. We'll get back to that. But basically what he wants to do, and he's forgetting something major in his proposal, okay? Now, he hasn't put anything on paper yet, but what he is talking about is not good. It's not good for people who are under 50 years old. So his plan is to basically make cuts to those people, make them work longer, okay? So that would mean that he wants to increase the full retirement age. He wasn't specific, but I would imagine it's going to be 69 or 70 because that's what politicians are talking about right now when they start talking about raising the full retirement age. So he wants to do that. He also wants to means test benefits, okay? So what that would mean is not everyone would be able to receive benefits. And so if you're working and you're paying into the payroll tax, 100 right now, currently 160,200. If you make less than that, you're paying into the payroll tax. Once you get over that threshold, you're going to pay up into that amount, so up to 160,200. But anything over that, you no longer have to pay into the payroll tax. But what he wants to do is he wants to means test it. So he wants to look at those people who are making a lot of money and say, you don't need Social Security, so we're not going to allow you to have Social Security anymore, even though those people paid into it. Okay, so I'm on the fence when it comes to this. I know some things need to be done, but if you're going to tell someone that they need to pay a tax, and then when they get to the age where they can retire, you're going to tell them that they can't receive those benefits that they've been paying into all these years. Now, he uses the example of Warren Buffett. Okay, of course, Warren Buffett is a billionaire, so that makes sense. But where's the threshold? Where are you going to drop to? Because you could have some people who they might have really saved and they might have a good retirement set up. However, they could still use a little bit of money coming from Social Security in order to offset their expenses. So I think that's the reality. Now, this is it. This is his plan. This is his proposal. So he has nothing else on the table. Obviously, you're going to need to raise taxes. He talks about this political risk. He talks about politicians not wanting to touch Social Security, okay? And he even goes a step further, and I want to read this to you because I think this is very important for us to focus on because he's not being completely honest in what he's saying, okay? So let's go ahead and read this. It says, the most disgusting part of Joe Biden's State of the Union address this year was when he stood up and he said, we'll all agree, right? We're not going to do anything to Social Security. Now, I want to stop right there. That's not exactly what President Biden said, and that's not what Republicans stood up and clapped for. They clapped for not cutting Social Security and Medicare. That was the talk. And do anything, we're not going to do anything to Social Security. That means cut. Okay, that's what he is focused on. That's what the president was focused on in the State of the Union address. Now, and both sides got up and cheered, is what Christie says. And Christie goes on to say, they're a group of liars and cowards because they know that in 10 years, Medicare will be bankrupt, and in 11 years, Social Security will be bankrupt. Now, you guys know how I feel about this. I've talked about this before when it comes to politicians saying that Social Security and Medicare are going bankrupt. They're not going bankrupt. The trust funds will go insolvent, so the trust funds will go bankrupt. However, the program will still be around. Both Social Security and Medicare will still be able to exist after the trust funds run out of money. What we're trying to avoid now with Social Security reform is we're trying to get to a point where we never reach that point where the trust funds completely run out of money. Because right now you have money coming from the payroll tax, and then they're taking the rest from the trust fund. Once that trust fund runs out of money, then you're going to see about a 23 to 24% cut in your benefits if nothing is done. Now, President Biden is not saying that we're not going to do anything about Social Security. As a matter of fact, you have politicians, you have lawmakers right now that want to reform Social Security. They have proposals on the table right now so the trust funds will not run out of money, and some of these proposals will add a boost to people receiving Social Security. But Chris Christie's not talking about that. He's not talking about that at all. He's just talking about cuts. And so I just find it amazing. Anytime I hear politicians come out and say that the Social Security is going bankrupt and Medicare is going bankrupt, they're not being honest with you. And in that same statement, just before that, he was talking about lawmakers being liars and cowards. Well, he's being a liar and a coward because he's not being straightforward with you when it comes to the programs. He needs to explain to people, look, the program will still be around. We're just trying to focus on that 23 to 24% cut that could happen if we do nothing. So I agree something needs to be done. I think most lawmakers realize that something needs to be done, but cutting the program now is not the solution. It's not the right way to go. And so I just found it really, really amazing when politicians say this, and they continue to say this. And what they're doing is they're going to have the American people believe that the program is going bankrupt. So that means that we just need to get rid of it. We need to privatize it. We need to do something else. It's not working. No, the program's been working for over 88 years. It will continue to work. We just need to revamp the program. They haven't revamped the program since 1983. Now they need to take a look at revamping the program again. Okay, now I want to focus on this really quickly when it comes to age 50. So he's saying anyone under 50, guess what? You're going to be working longer. And this is the problem that I have when you hear politicians saying we want to protect Social Security. Well, you want to protect Social Security, but do you want to expand Social Security, or do you actually want to make cuts to Social Security? And if Chris Christie has his way, this would be a cut to people receiving Social Security. Because if you're under 50, that means you're going to have to wait longer to receive your full retirement benefits. And that would mean that you're going to have a shorter window to receive your full retirement benefits. And so if you are a Gen Xer, if you are a millennial, you need to pay attention. If you're Gen Z, you guys all need to be paying attention to this, because this can impact when you retire. And I've been talking about this for a while when it comes to politicians wanting to raise that full retirement age. The one thing that they're not looking at the payroll tax. They're not looking at the cap, raising the cap. They don't want to raise taxes on anyone. They want to make cuts, which you might think, okay, well, I don't want them to raise taxes on me. But I would tell you, most people would probably say, if it comes to the payroll tax and you want to raise that payroll tax, let's say you raise it 1%. So right now you're paying 6.2%. Your employer is matching that and paying 6.2%. And so that's 12.4% that's going to the Social Security Administration. That is the current way it's set up. Now, let's say you raised it 1%. I think the vast majority of people who are working right now, under 50, would say raise it 1%, raise it 2%. That would be fine with me if I could still retire at 67 and not have to wait until I'm 70. So that's the real discussion these politicians need to have. They need to have that with their constituents and let them know, look, this is what we have. Do you want me to raise that full retirement age to 70, or do you want me to raise the payroll tax and keep the full retirement age at 67, and then maybe even add an increase to that, an increase for people receiving Social Security? And so we've heard Chris Christie's proposal, and I'm telling you, this is not something that I think would be good for the American people. I definitely think it would not be good for people under 50. And then also, if you don't want to raise any taxes or do anything like that, you're still going to have to do more. We know raising the full retirement age and means testing Social Security is not going to be enough. So you're still going to have to do other things in order for Social Security not to see cuts in 2033. So I want to know what you guys think about this. So let me know down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.